Check. Mic check. Turn this around. Right there. Yeah, yeah. Mic check. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Yes, yes, yes. This is it. This is it. Yes. We'll set this here for the set there. Perfectly. Take this cable here. All right, guys, we got a topic for you guys coming up. Why is music important? That's my topic. Why is music important? Music, 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 guys. Music is so important. Why does my mic stop? Why does the mic? All right, hold on. We gotta make sure this is legit. Good morning. Topic: why is music important? Just keep cutting out. We can't be having that. Come on, man. You gotta give me rock. The topic this morning is why is music important, guys? That's the topic. Why is music important? All right, so all right, so music is important because music is used for therapy for us. Uh, Music is important because music a lot of times helps our soul. A lot of times music helps us spiritually, emotionally, and sometimes it just helps us focus on ourselves. And just people use it for therapy primarily. Like music is like the most powerful thing in the world. Um, it's always in demand. That's why we always hear it. That's why it's always around us. And that's why it's a part of life. Music is just an element of life. It's so important. Like, you know, it's funny to me in life because when I was younger and I was coming up, you know, I would always talk to my parents or my peers, and I'd be like, "Oh, I want to be a musician. I want to play music for the rest of my life." And they would say something like, "Well, you know, musicians' lives ain't really good, you know," or they will always have something negative to say about music and art. Like I would never hear them say, "Yo, you can get a live gig if you go play at church, or you can play live at a bar or club, or you can play some gigs at the park, you get a permit." No one would never tell me, you know, anything positive about music. So I had to figure it out pretty much on my own, like everything, studio booking, uh, doing parties for people, karaoke machine, every karaoke shows, anything I had to do to just do the art form, right? But in my soul, I always knew music was important, and I felt this in my heart. So I was like, I'm not gonna just be one of these people that just be like, oh, I'm just gonna work a job and just stop doing my art and music, because I knew music was always important to my soul. I notice when I'm mad, for example, I can kick a certain harmony or frequency, and it'll actually have my whole body on a whole nother level of calmness. It's by simply just relaxing my muscles in my body and humming a simple like anything that I was doing actually to help heal myself, you know. And so I was like, this is gonna be with me forever. And even if I never ever become this huge musician, you know, like some super pop star, I was like, I'm still gonna be doing this music because it's healing my soul. And I always knew this, even when I was a youngster, I always knew, I was like, music is healing me. I was like, it's a frequency I'm kicking that I'm not gonna stop kicking this frequency because, when you become an adult and you start adult and people are like talking, bad about art form. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like music is important, because it's very therapeutic for you. If you know how to use it correctly and you know how to utilize it to its advantage for yourself, you can heal yourself with music. That's the first reason why I would say music is important, because you can heal yourself with music. And let me inform you, you also can hurt yourself with music. You can kick frequencies off that are negative frequencies that will harm you. And sometimes it's like the balance of life. Like we kick sometimes these frequencies, or we kick our art out that is like a little bit like, not so happy or not so, good for us, but we still have to express ourselves because it's all under expression. It's just like you got hot and cold water and lukewarm. As an artist, we're not always going to be hot. We're not always going to be cold. We're not always going to be lukewarm. You know what I mean? So this element of life applies in everything, the polarity. So basically, what I'm basically saying, just summing this up, is that nothing is perfect and we ain't always going to be in the same, level. But to sum up what I was basically saying is sometimes we can make music that because it's a reflection of ourselves. So we can make music that basically is, if we're sad, we're going to make music that's sad. If we make music that's happy, we're happy. We're feeling happy. We're going to make music that's happy. So basically the reflection and the polarity of, that we kicked both of those, like I said, hot or cold, we're sad or happy. So we're basically taking, our emotions, and we're still going to do it extreme, no matter if we're happy or we're sad. And if you're really sad and you keep kicking out sad music, because I experienced this before, then you're going to be walking around sad all the time. So I was like, man, this stuff is powerful. And I knew, because as far as the music being you can use it for healing. You also can use it for kind of bringing yourself to the low, to feeling down, because you are still expressing yourself in the art form. And the art form don't know the difference. They don't know, happy or sad, but it does know that you're taking the frequency and you're using it to apply it to yourself in your life. So I learned that as a musician as well. And I teach that to some people sometimes, because that's a very important thing to know. However, back to what I was stating earlier, music is used for healing, and you can use it for healing yourself, which is the most important thing of music. And this is why I feel like it's important. Okay. But at the same time, if you're feeling really bad, it's really sad, then you actually can have that same frequency, because it's all frequencies. You know what I'm saying? And you use that same frequency to lower your vibration. So we always gotta be in sync with ourselves, and this is all about balance too. Ain't no one perfect. It's not like we walk around here 24/7 happy or 24/7 sad, like I said, or lukewarm. It's always, on or off or in the middle or wherever you're gonna be that day, because we're, water, and we're always gonna be, with a different emotion. Body mostly water. With that being said, another reason why I'm going to say music is important. What's up, y'all? In the chat, see y'all. Thanks for hanging with me here tonight. Another reason why I'm going to say music is important is because I said, first of all, is very important because it can heal you. It can heal you. Therapy. So music could be very therapeutic to us as well in our soul. So we can use music for therapy. And trust me, I use music for therapy all the time and have before. So if you're going through something emotionally, you can just whatever melody you feeling, and you want to come with that expression of wherever you're feeling, it'll help you get over that hump. So it can be used for therapy. Music can be used for gathering people together in enjoyment. You come around somebody, you got a vibe, and you yo, you know what I mean? I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna just play guitar really cool, and have everybody dancing. You could be using music for congregation. You can use it to like gather people together, you know, because we humans just frequency, you know, and gathering, and vice versa. Musicians can also make some mean music. I can make some sad music. You know what I mean? And have everybody tripping off that music. You know, mosh pitting. You get what I'm saying? It's just like it's this energy, man, and we're as us as musicians, we're using this energy and we just transfer it. So, like I said, we just got to be careful how we use it, and because it's gonna affect us and it can affect other people more. So it affects you more than anything because we are the ones that hold the energy of the creative vibration. But music is good for congregation. Just to sum that up, that's another reason why music is good for us and why music is important. And music can motivate you. So that's what I'm gonna say for three. Like music can motivate you. Like music can motivate your life. You can be somewhere doing something that you don't really want to be find pleasant, and then you just start singing. And next thing you know, you're feeling all happy and jolly. What else in the world can do that for you? You know? And they say a lot of things are free. Everything is like a rhythm, or you know, everything's in sync like rhythm. You know, even with nature, like we in sync with like nature. You know what I'm saying? They saying the trees is rhythm and the water is rhythm. Everything is rhythm. We're rhythm. I hear people say that, but that's the main thing is motivation. Like music is important because it can motivate you. So I think that's important. I remember, I think that's why I'm a songwriter and a musician today, because I remember being a child and I remember being in situations where like I was very unhappy in certain situations as a child. And I always would sing my way out of it, or I would just harmonize something or just kick something, and I would make my own little world. You know, I would just create my own little world because I didn't want to be in someone else's, you know, whatever they were into as far as like frequency or vibration or sound. If they were in the house yelling, or if they were in the house like arguing, I was like, this ain't the frequency I'm on. So I'll just start humming my own melody out, kicking my own little song and going about my way. So, and it will motivate my day, you know, because it can make you sad. You know, sometimes as a child, if you're around people and they just, you know, doing some things that doesn't bring you enjoyment. So that's the motivation of music. It can bring you enjoyment, you know, and that's how we kick it around here. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely important. And that's another element. That's why music is important, y'all. So yes, music is important. Don't let no one tell you it's not important. I don't. And it's funny. Like I said, when I was first coming up, they were like, well, it doesn't make a lot of money to make music, you know, and that's not a real job. They would tell me things like that, but music is beyond that. Music is beyond that. And it's deeper than that. You know what I mean? Some people are walking around right now straight motivated by frequency and music. Their whole life purpose is off motivation, off frequency and music. It's musicians like that. It's people like that that's working like at jobs. It's people walking down the street like that. They got theme songs in their head. You know what I mean? Going up the street, doing their jobs, doing whatever they got to do. They have their frequency. So this is very very important stuff. So yeah, the motivation is a third thing I'll have to say is why music is so important. Commercial break. No. Let's see who's in the chat. What's up, y'all? All right. I see y'all in the chat. Let me see who's in there. I see Fairy Lover and Tanya. What's up, y'all? I see y'all in the chat. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you so much, man. The topic today is why music is important. Yes, that's the topic today. Why is music important? So I'm gonna post this up. So this will be posted. Why is music important? But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to get that off because you know, me, like I said, when I was a kid, it wasn't something that was really promoted to me. It's like, oh, it's importance. But I always knew and felt that music was important and knew how important it was because of frequency and rhythm. So before I even know what frequency and rhythm was as a kid, I just knew, how it worked for me as a vibrational frequency as a kid. So it's all that is so important, y'all. So music is important. You know what I mean? It's more important than a lot of things that we have. Like you can have so many different things, but if you don't have your vibration and your rhythm down, it's like, what do you have? Because the whole universe is rhythm and vibration. You know what I mean? It's like simple things like that. Like we don't know and we don't get taught. So it's like, now what? You know what I'm saying? And then you become older and you're like, oh, this is why I like this so much. This is why I'm in the rhythm and frequency, because the whole universe is rhythm and frequency. Okay, it all makes sense to me now, but no one ever told me this. Yes, y'all. Yes, and yes, and yes. And this is why music is important. So if whether you listening to the music, you creating music, you making music, you listening to music, you vibing to music, you got frequency going on, a vibration, you humming. Just remember that music is so important, and always find your frequency and always find your vibe. I want to say anything else about why music is important? Let's see. I gave you guys the information when I was a child and how all that other stuff, so you can listen on a playback on that. But it's important for motivation. So if it keeps you motivated and it's music, that shows you the importance of it itself. And oh, that's what I wanted to say. I wanted to sum this up. I seen this jazz artist on the internet, and he basically was explaining that music doesn't care what you have, and music doesn't care what you have physically. Basically, he made it seem like basically like the music don't care about nothing else but the vibration and the frequency. You know what I'm saying? And it's interesting though, because like I don't know if y'all ever seen like I have seen people that are on the streets that actually sing like they're in like a Hollywood musical film. Now, I seen some of these people, and sometimes what I mean, they'll just kick off their soul for you if they're feeling it. But that all comes down to what the jazz musician was saying. Like the universe don't care if you have a gazillion dollars or you just have 5 cents in your pocket. Because if the universe is all frequency and vibration and rhythm, then basically if you can tap into that, then that's what you have. You know what I mean? So it for some reason, somehow and somewhere, I guess people were like, oh, well, that doesn't look like a successful car. That doesn't look like a successful situation. Therefore, that person's not successful as far as that vibration, that frequency of that music atmosphere that they're doing. Nevertheless, somebody, like I said, it could be somebody on the streets and they kicking some smooth jazz that you ain't never heard, the vibe, the frequency. You ain't never heard that type of soul being delivered. And your ears is just tuned in like, what the heck is this? This sound like a jazz record, right? So that comes back down to what that old jazz musician was saying. Like when you're a musician or you kicking that music, the universe don't care what you have. If you got the frequency and you know how to, what they used to call it back in them days, harness it, you can harness that energy of that creative art form, you winning. You have it. You have the gift. Now, whether someone else gives you things because of that, I guess that's up to your promotion and your marketing and how far now you kicking it off to some business. Like, okay, is my business tight? You know what I mean? Because I got to get some capital now because everybody liked that frequency I was kicking it. But basically, from my understanding, the jazz musician was basically saying the universe doesn't care like what you have. Like if you can harness the frequency, if you kicking it, then you winning. And if you stop doing it, then you stop doing it. And whatever happens after you stop kicking that frequency is, that's all up to you. But we still have that, that we still can basically create our own frequency to heal ourselves or to use it to like motivate ourselves or just straighten ourselves. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. And that's why music is important. I'm your host, James Roanoke, visited one of them here, man. It's Morning Talk. What's up? And thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for the thumbs up. I'm out. I'll post this.